Hey, hey, hey. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to my small corner of the internet. Welcome to this live stream again. Hi. I hope you're doing fine. Let's see if there are people here. Oh, there are some people that I know. At least one of them I know. Hey folks. So I'm gonna wait for people to gather. All right. I'm back from FOSDEM, which was a great time. I hope you had a good time too. Hi. Hello. So who's there? Oh, more people. Hey everyone. I hope the sound is okay. Looks like it works, apparently, a little bit. Hey, how are you, Neil? How was FOSDEM for you? And CentOS Connect, of course. So a few people in my team reported that they got COVID over there, which is not really surprising. And now you're sick. Okay, that is great. Yeah. Is I mean, there was so many people in small rooms, poorly ventilated, very few masks, so I guess it was to be expected. I hope it's not gonna last too long because we need you around. So I hope you. Yeah, FOSDEM was yeah, Connect was fun. I agree with that. Room was not entirely packed to the brim as it was on FOSDEM, and yeah, there was definitely more room to go around, but FOSDEM was terrible. So you've been sick since you're back, and I hope it's going to lift soon. Did you get a chance to do a COVID test already, or because I heard the latest variant called PA1 or something can be detected by antigen test, but only later than the previous variant because it migrates to the ORL sphere later during the infection. So you have to if you do the test when you get the symptoms, it might turn out negative, but if you do them again, if you do it again 2 days later, it might turn out positive because it takes longer to move from the the lungs to the wherever you put your swab, so in the back of the nose, sinuses maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, but I mean you're sick, so whatever you do, you're going to stay at home anyway. So, and in my team there were so some of the symptoms can be really weird. So I had a person in my team reported that they got a positive COVID test and that they had fever, they were sick, etc. And there was somebody else in the team that had a fever as well. And then somebody said, "Oh, that looks bad. Thankfully, I only have this weird nosebleed right now. But I don't feel sick." And the person who got sick in the first place said, "Oh yeah, it started with a nosebleed for me as well." So, I mean, that's a weird symptom, right? Having a nosebleed for something that is respiratory disease. But yeah, I mean, you can't really know. The symptoms are all over the place sometimes, so unfortunately. Yes, exactly. What doesn't kill you mutates and tries again, as I say, you know. So I hope the FOSDEM time was good anyway. I definitely had a good time there. Ate a lot of waffles and had some interesting discussions with some people in the IPA team and also some people in the packet and the build system team. So that was good. CentOS Connect was nice as well. The integration team is going to be interfacing with with the CPU team quite often, I expect. So there's going to be work to share between us all. So that's good. What do we want to do today? So last time I started on a bug on Noggin that I didn't finish, but most of it is done. Let me get back to it. Yeah, that's this one. It's a ticket that I opened after the IP outage in early January or like mid-January. And whenever we were reinstalling the server, we had to change the list of IPS servers in Noggin, and that was a bit of a pain. So there's a ticket open to just use DNS instead of listing the IPS servers. Of course, you know, DNS. That might bring its whole lot of problems, but so let me share the screen right now before I forget. So here is my easy fixes page. That's the ticket on Noggin that I had started on. I have a bit of code already in there. I'm not exactly sure where I stopped because that was 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks is an eternity. So I can go back to it and check it out. But if you're not really interested in that, we can totally look at something else. And oh yeah, and before we go into that, there is something that I wanted to present also. That's a discussion thread that I have started on Fedora Discussions yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Well, depending on your time zone, yesterday. So coming back from FOSDEM, we heard about interesting project and interesting things we could do, and I wanted to. I have made a list of the interesting things that we could do, and of course. There are things that we had in mind before that. So, where is it? Yes. There are things that we had in mind before that. And so there's quite a few things that could be done by the infra team with regards to applications, not only sysadmining or upgrading OpenShift or whatever the latest trend is. So we have our own trends as well. So I wanted to make a list of that so we don't forget and propose that to the community because I really don't want to give the impression that application development within Fedora infrastructure is restricted to CPE or that, you know, it's only acceptable if it comes from a CPE member or whatever, you know, whatever bad impression that could give you know, I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I've made I have a page here that is currently a HackMD document, but I want to migrate that to something better. That's the whole purpose of this thread. And I wanted to show you some of the things that I had in mind or that I found. So let me open that list. All right, so maybe a bit bigger would be better. Yeah, so RA or ARA, or however that's called. That's the name of a bird. It's the acronym of ARA records Ansible. That's basically something that stores the runs of Ansible in the infrastructure and gives you statistics and metrics and interesting things to look at. We are using Ansible, as you may know already, in our infrastructure. We are using it quite a lot. And so deploying ARA would be, I think, interesting because we could deploy that in OpenShift, the web interface in OpenShift, and have its plugin inside our Ansible repo. And that's going to tell us, how the things are going, how long the runs are lasting, etc., etc., etc. And I think that would be a nice addition. It's pretty separate from the rest. It can run an OpenShift in an OpenShift project and have the plugin in our repo, as I said before. The long-term idea would be to use AWX, which is a layer on top of Ansible that does a lot of things. That it does more than ARA, but it also it does access control, for example. It does a lot of things, really a lot of. That's the open source project behind the Tower product, Ansible Tower, and we would like to deploy that, but it requires us to reorganize our Ansible repo quite a lot. And that's going to take a bit of time. So I think if you guys want to try out ARA and deploy that in Ansible, I think that would be a nice addition and would be a net benefit for us all. So that would be cool. The ARA developer was there at FOSDEM, and so that's how we got wind of it. I know that CentOS already uses it, so that would be cool for Fedora as well. I've also been to a talk about Keycloak and Ipatura. Keycloak, as you may know, is let's say an identity not gateway, but it's basically the equivalent of Epsilon. And Ipatura is a sort of a middleware component that integrates Keycloak with IPA. At the moment, Keycloak can talk to IPA, but scheme system. Okay, yeah, okay. What is this acronym? Security, I guess. Okay, nice. Okay, that's interesting. Can you expand on the scheme thing? Because Ipatura is a layer that implements a protocol called Scheme v2, System for Cross-Domain Entity Management. Okay, thanks. So Ipatura is based on a protocol, an open source standard so that's definitely a plus. And I think it will be interesting to have a deployment of Keycloak in our infrastructure plus Ipatura and see how well they integrate with each other at the moment. When talking with the Ipatura developer, I learned that they are quite usable at the moment already. They don't have Kerberos authentication, so they can't forward the Kerberos authentication from Keycloak to IPA. So that's going to be a problem because we do that, but they expect to add that. It's in their roadmap. So I think it's currently in a good enough state that we can do some prototyping with it. So yeah, so Neil says he's not been in favor of Keycloak because of how limited the protocol support is and how inaccessible to contribution Keycloak is. Okay, that's interesting. Yep, I think that on the side of the limited protocol, the Ipatura component would be quite useful. I don't know if you've been to that talk, but basically it's a layer that is going to translate some requests by Keycloak to IPA and back, and you can make some translations there, especially regarding attributes, for example, attributes name, which is currently done in Epsilon. There's mapping in the configuration file. And it's also a component that is written it's written in Python. It's based on the Django scheme component existing, and so it's way more hackable than Keycloak is, and possibly even via, well, we could possibly just, configure it instead of hacking on it. So that would be cool. It makes the application hard depend on free APA. Not really, I don't think so. It's a layer that is between Keycloak and IPA only. Not all the applications. The applications keep using OAuth 2 or SAML, basically. So what I thought we could do for a demo or a proof of concept deployment would be to have Keycloak running in OpenShift and Ipatura as well in the same OpenShift project, configure them with the IPA servers, and then import the OAuth 2 configuration from Epsilon, so the applications and their secrets, the client IDs and the secrets. And try to see how we could map the attributes, see what we can do with Ipatura, test with the test auth application, which is basically an application that just authenticates using either OpenID Connect or SAML, or I think it supports also as OpenID, but not Keycloak. Keycloak doesn't. And then follow how it's going and see if we can make use of it in some way, or how far they are from being usable by the Fedora project. Hey Crossbow, nice to see you here. Always nice to see some old faces as well as new faces. That's cool. So the badges situation. As you know, there is an effort to rewrite the badges application into something that we could better maintain. However, the traction has diminished, and I think we won't be able to have that before RHEL goes end of line, which is middle of this year. So I think we'll have to do with the current implementation for a while. Thankfully, there is some RHEL 7 ELS for it then. No, the plan is to make it work on RHEL 9. Make this code work on RHEL 9. So there's various things that we could adjust. There is a current implementation. Yeah, I know. There is a current implementation document that has been written by the ARC team. It has nice graphics, etc. So, and there's a description of the database. There is a lot of information in there. So if you want to know how it works at the moment, that's definitely the place to go. There are several things that make Tarrier quite hard to work with at the moment. I think it's not using OIDC. I think it's still using OpenID. So we need to port that to IDC. However, I've already done that for Body, and it's using the same framework, Pyramid. So it should be quite simple to make it use OIDC. Neil says, as it is, getting Pyger uplifted is going to be fun, since I'm also planning on switching to Poetry at the same time. Yep, that is going to be fun. Pyger, to my knowledge, is currently running on Python 3.6. Just making it use a more recent version of Python is already a bit of work. So yeah, I agree. That's going to be fun for some definitions of fun. Yep, it's Flask dependency. You mean Flask 3, the one that came out recently? All right. So Tarrier is the web front end. Tarrier is the thing that you get to when you want to add a badge, or like you flash a QR code and you're getting to Tarrier. It's currently using FedMessage, obviously, to send messages. So it should be also ported to Fedora messaging. It should be pretty simple because that's just one file and it's really simple in the way it sends notifications. I'm not sure that the current version of Pyramid would work on EL9, so we need to refresh that. There's going to be a fun ride that as well. And there's also FedBadges. FedBadges is the backend of Tarrier. It's the component that listens to every message on FedMessage and awards badges, basically. I have looked at the code. It shouldn't be too hard to migrate that to Fedora messaging. So didn't we move Body from Pyramid to Django because of this? No, Body is still using Pyramid. Body is still running on Pyramid. It would be cool to move it to something else because I don't think anybody has really a lot of knowledge with Pyramid anymore. But that's a huge amount of work. So Body is still on Pyramid. And with the time frame that we have for RHEL 7, Torrier is definitely going to stay on Pyramid. And Fed badges, yeah, it's going to have to be ported to Fedora messaging. It shouldn't be too hard, really. I didn't see anything that was really crazy Fed message specific in there. Body isn't really friendly for other distros to adopt, which doesn't help either. That is true. Do you mean it has? Yeah, I mean, extracting the Fedora specificities from Body is probably going to be a hard task. Especially since we have moved to many like a swarm of a lot of components, and we're now getting back, like for example PDC is being decommissioned, and there's some of the information that is in PDC at the moment that's going to fall back into Body. Well, some of it is actually already there, like the current releases, but yeah. And I'm not sure how easy it would be for another distribution to use Body. Probably very hard, but I would be, in general, I am 100% for having our applications work in other distributions. Like, I'm even willing to put some effort on that, a reasonable amount of effort though, and making Body other distros compatible would be pretty hard, I think. Yeah. I am. You would be happy to hear. Yeah. Body is it's really, really hard. You would be happy to hear that I am currently working on Mirror Manager 2. You're probably more happy to hear that than I actually am, because the code is old, as in extremely old, way old. There's a lot of parts that have been imported from Mirror Manager 1 in there. That's probably around 2005, I am considering, when I've put that in a reasonable state, I think I'll be trying to make that usable for other distributions as well, because it's just management of mirrors and checking how up to date they are. There doesn't have to be so many Fedora specific things in there. There aren't that many of those applications anymore. You mean in Fedora or in general? Most of them are dead, yeah. Well, Mirror Manager is really the sort of thing that mirror management apps, that it's really the sort of thing where features have been bolted upon year after year, decades after decades sometimes. It's really in a story state. There's so much code duplication in there. Some parts that have been copied to another function to do something slightly different when there are some different, where the arguments are just a little bit different, and the contents of, like, there are some difference hidden below for loops, way below. It's really a pain to reorganize. You have to play the game of 7 differences between the two functions. It's a pain. Don't get me started on that. Oh boy, I've already started. Well, don't get me started any further, because anyway. So Mirror Manager is another issue. I'm working on this at the moment. There are some crazy things in there where instead of updating the database, it's logging with a specific format to a file that is then air synced to the front ends, which repassed that and put it back in the database. It's crazy. Let me not talk about Mirror Manager at the moment. I hope to get it into a reasonable state in the following weeks/month, probably. Definitely before RHEL 7 is end of life, because that needs to be done before that. And I have other things to do. I feel like I've opened a can of worms, and there's like everywhere. Anyway, Really? Yeah, that would be cool. So, yeah, so Neil says that other distros would be interested in Mirror Manager if it's in a better shape. That's really interesting, and that's really a motivational thing for me. If I can get that into a place where it can be used by other distros, that would be very cool. All right. So I'm working on that at the moment. Given the amount of changes that I've done to the code base, I don't think it would be really practical to have other people working on it, except if you want to work on the web interface. The web UI is currently Flask, and it's not in a terrible shape, and it should be runnable in OpenShift. So if you want to have a look at it and reorganize some things, fix some issues, and make it a little bit more modern, please go ahead. I'm currently working on the scripts, and that's really a different beast. All right. So that's it for Mirror Manager. I've crossed it here, but really, it could be uncrossed in the sense that it could accept other people working on it, just not on the scripts at the moment. There's going to be too much duplicated effort if we do that. What else do I have? I have easy fixes. So that's the page that I usually show when I do my streams. That's this page. It's currently built by a script that runs in cron in OpenShift every hour. And it's basically crawling all the groups that have been defined in the wiki page, the associated wiki page. So it's extracting this wiki page, passing this list, and then using that as a reference to query GitHub or Pagure, depending on where the repo is. It's a bit of a hack. I've restored a thing that used to be there a while ago, but it's really still a bit hackish. It shouldn't use the wiki as a database. Obviously, that's not great. It should have its own, and it should be authenticated with FAS. It should let people register their own thing. And I haven't found, when I was looking for this tool, for something like this for my streams, I haven't really found something that would give me a dashboard of tickets, filterable by tags across GitHub, GitLab, and Pagure. I would have been happy with something that didn't do Pagure, because I could add it myself. But I mean, I thought it would exist already. I thought there would be something of a dashboard that gathers information from GitHub and GitLab, right? Listing issues. It doesn't seem like something that is very far-fetched, but I didn't find anything. So Neil says, I don't think something like this exists generally. Well, I definitely haven't found it. So either you know about something and I would be happy to adopt it, or improving this page, improving this EasyFix application would be something that would be useful to, I think, many people. Yep. I think that would be useful for probably other distributions and probably even individuals. Exactly. Yeah. It would be really cool. So, and it's not rocket science really. It's just, gathering information from APIs that you find that are really well documented, and it shouldn't be too hard. You can make it fancy and very dynamic, refreshing. Like you could have the application hooked into a webhook to the project that you defined, because I mean, if you register an application, you may want to check if you're an admin or if you are allowed to register webhooks with this application, and then you would be able to have the application, like the EasyFixes application, be a recipient of a webhook from GitHub or GitLab that will let it refresh the contents dynamically, even maybe push it to the client with some WebSockets thing. It can be something really fun and dynamic and really cool to do. if there are web developers really interested in that. And if you are a web developer and you're afraid of the backend part, then that can be done by someone else. I can even help with that. So yeah, if you are seeing this and you think it would be an interesting project to you to try some new tech or to get better at something that you already know, yeah, feel free to contact me or to basically post something on Fedora discussions, even either as a follow-up of this thread or as a new thing, and I'll follow it. Just make sure that you tag the infrastructure team in there. I think it would be really cool. I think it would be a really cool project. So there's that. There's a lot of things that could be done with this easy fixes page. And I'm pretty sure that it will be useful way beyond Fedora. All right, that's it. That's it for easy fixes. When I was at FASM, I talked to somebody else on my team, Mihal, who said that there's currently a problem with toddlers. So toddlers, what is toddlers? Toddlers is I'd say a component that runs in OpenShift and that listens to a lot of messages and runs small tasks when there's an incoming message. So for example, it can listen to some message that happens only like once a day and run a small task that doesn't really warrant its own full-blown thing around it. Or it can, query Bugzilla, check that all the users, email addresses in Bugzilla are matching email addresses in FAS. There's manual tasks. Hey, Linux returned. How are you? I returned as well, by the way. I hope you didn't miss me for a whole week. Yeah, so the problem with it is that it's currently subscribed. So there's one Fedora messaging consumer subscribed to many topics, and then the topics and then it does a for loop on all its subcomponents, and sends the messages to the components that have requested it, as in like they do some pattern matching on the topic and accept the message or do something with it. Problem is, if there's a crash in there because the message doesn't look like what the component expects it to, it blocks all the other toddlers. Like the for loop crashes, it's caught by an exception. The message is put back into the queue, and then it comes back, crashes again, put back into the queue, etc., etc., etc. And that's a bit of a problem. Because we don't really know, or we're not here at the moment where it crashes and it keeps crashing in a loop. What we do to mitigate that when it happens is just multiply the toddler pods into many of them, and since they are all subscribed to the same queue, they will get the messages in the round-robin fashion. So the message will get back into the queue, but at that time, another message will be pulled by another toddler, and it will somehow keep running, but you have to have like 10 or 20 toddlers instances. It's really not the best way to do this. And as you multiply toddlers, you are multiplying, like if you, it scales well because of how RabbitMQ is designed. You can have a round-robin system pretty much automatically. So it scales very well, but if you have one component in toddlers that consumes a lot, the only thing you can do is multiply toddlers as a whole. So you will multiply everything else. So it could be done a little bit better. And also conceptually, it's a bit of a duplicated effort because, so RabbitMQ is a queuing system. The messages are waiting for you in the queue. You get them because you subscribe to a topic or a topic pattern or many topic patterns, and you do something with it, and then you acknowledge the message. What it's doing is getting a lot of messages, subscribing to many different topics, and then doing some pattern matching in Python with the subcomponents of toddlers, which all of the small toddlers inside it, and then running them in a for loop. So it's sort of a second queuing system. It does the pattern matching a second time, and I'm pretty sure that RabbitMQ is going to be way more efficient at doing that than Python. It subscribes to many topics for many components, while each component could be subscribed to its own topic. And it's sort of a queuing system as well, except it's in memory in the for loop. So instead of learning the Fedora messaging API, you have to learn the toddlers API. Like build a class that has the right methods. I think we can do better than that, and I think we could solve the issue of a toddler crashing all the toddlers by having all of them in their own Fedora messaging consumer. It's sort of simple to do that because in the configuration of Fedora messaging, you just put a function and it calls the function with all the messages, all the incoming messages, or it can be a class. Then you have an init system. Then, if we do that, if we put all the toddlers into their own Fedora messaging consumer, then we will have a single crashing toddler is not going to crash all the rest. That's for sure. It's going to crash on its own on the side. You could multiply the toddlers that really need multiplying because it's different pods. So you can have a replica number higher for some pods than others. They would all be pods in the same OpenShift project, you know. You could also, and they will be subscribed to their own topics. So you will not have a gigantic flux of messages coming to toddlers and then toddlers to the toddler consumer and then distributing it. You will have only the messages that the toddlers really want to work with. So I think we could do that. I was at FOSDEM and I thought, yeah, you could have toddlers, but each toddler would be in a pod, so it would be podlers, and I was very proud of myself of this pun. So yeah, I know. It's however not the best name because it's a reference to something else that was already a pun, so it's becoming a bit too convoluted maybe. Anyway, naming is hard. The downside is that there will be more boilerplate. There will be the deployment config is going to be separate for each of the toddlers inside it. Yeah, make toddlers. I mean, yeah, they're hard to test. If that's also a plus that I haven't listed. If you have separate toddlers, they would be easier to test individually. Because right now you're testing like you have to build the entire chain, right? You have to do integration testing, which is a bit more complex. But it would be nice to make that usable outside of Fedora Infra. I think it will still be pretty dependent on the Fedora messaging API. I don't think we can get rid of that. But I mean, we could have the code. That does the business thing separate from the code that does the consuming thing, which already is, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I mean that would be in how the different independent toddlers would be written. Can I have a dummy backend for which for the bus you mean, or? Yeah, I don't know how it's tested actually at the moment, but yeah, having separate components instead of just one would probably make it more testable. So what I thought to avoid the boilerplate would be to find a way to have maybe some template in the current OpenShift template. Well, in the current Ansible templates for OpenShift, you can have templating. You can have Ginger 2 templates, so it would be not impossible to do some templating in there. And then the deployment config.yaml is then generated on the OpenShift control node and then imported into OpenShift. So what sounds horrifying? Templating for deployment config? I'm not sure. I don't know. It may be not. It may be simpler. I don't know. I still prefer having some templated well done than. Well, it's not templating for templating, right? The deployment config is a YAML file, And we already have templating in there because we are importing in there, well, not for deployment config, but for the config maps, we are importing config files that are separate in the tree, in the Ansible tree. And that's much better because if you want to put them inline the config map, it has to be indented with the exact right number, and it's a pain. So we already do some templating for those files. For the deployment config, there will be a lot of places in there that would be similar between the different toddlers. All the boilerplate of Kubernetes, basically. So I think if we have like just one for loop in there, it's going to be more maintainable in the long run than if we cut and paste everything. Anyway, I think the different toddlers could stay in the same repo. They would either be separate projects or, well, they would probably be separate projects, now that I think of it. But they can stay in the same repo, that's all good. And there's two ways we can do the image building side. We can either have a single, or it can be a single project. We can have either build a toddler's image and then change the architecture. So Neil says, just avoid the architecture that Maobot uses. Oh yeah, right. Where yeah. No, that's just Maobot's thing. It's a bit weird. So we could have so we could build the image from the toddlers project and then change the command line or like the argument to Fedora messaging consume using an environment variable that would be defined in the deployment config. I think that would be the simple thing. Or we could have separate projects that would build their own images, but that duplicates the build config as well. And that's maybe not what we want. So, let's make sure that we make that in a way that is very maintainable in the long run. We don't want to have ourselves in 5 years curse ourselves now. Okay, so that was one of the ideas that I discussed with Michal. I think it makes sense. Other people think it makes sense. It will remove the single point of failure that the current toddler consumer is. So yeah, I think that's definitely a plus. Anybody can reorganize that. Basically, it's all work in the toddlers repo. Try to separate the things, like make sure they can be run independently, not with a single toddlers consumer. I'm happy to help with the Fedora messaging API questions. If there is anybody that has questions on how it should be done with Fedora messaging or how you do write a consumer, there is some documentation, but I'm also happy to help with that. Next thing, webhook to Fedora messaging. So at the moment, we have quite a few apps whose online only purpose is to get a webhook from some service somewhere and translate that into a Fedora messaging message and send that on the bus. There is one for GitHub, there is one for GitLab, there is one for Discourse, there is one for I don't remember exactly, but there's quite a few. Something to Fedora messaging, something to Fed message, however it's called. And I think we could centralize that into one web application, because then we wouldn't have to do all the Flask instantiation with it, all the configuration. And I think it would be just something that receives webhooks and send that to Fedora messaging. And we could have like different endpoint depending on where it's coming from. So yeah, so that will remove some of the boilerplates of our applications, I think. As you can see, it's pretty much the opposite direction as the previous move. So hopefully make sure that if, okay, it's not exactly the opposite direction. There is quite a difference between having a single consumers and that runs all the that runs all the incoming message through a for loop to different components and having a web application because there are endpoints there. So they would not all go to the same webhook endpoint and be, I don't know, like identified as different applications and pulled to different components. Each application that has a webhook would be its own thing. Well, it's an endpoint. So I think that's also an interesting project. It's something that have been on our back burner for a while already because it's never as much of a priority as other things in CP. But if you guys want to have a look at this, it should be pretty simple. Just, if you do that with Flask, you have blueprints for different applications that want to send you messages. Then have a layer that will translate your incoming webhook into a dictionary and then send that to a common component that will be sending it to the bus. Simple. The only tricky thing would be to define the schemas, because right now we have kind of avoiding doing that. Ideally, the schema would be pretty precise and explain to the consumer what you can find inside the webhook. What is the content of the webhook? So that would be great if we could have that as well. So yeah, that's possibly the only tricky part. But if you know the GitHub webhooks well, you can work on that. And if you know the GitHub webhooks well, you can work on that, and that can be entirely separated from one another. So multiple people can work on it at the same time, I think, once the basic framework is done. But that's basically a Flask apps. And I have a cookie getter template for that already. So that's the plan. There is a discussion about that. Tomasz has proposed to create a separate thread with this list. I'm not sure that's going to work so well. Blah, 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 blah. Pagure being a biggie. Yeah, Pagure. Yeah. Moving Pagure to OIDC shouldn't be too hard. The Flask OIDC library that I have resurrected more or less can be usable there. So that's also an information for you, Neil. If you end up doing that, you can totally use Flask OIDC. I think that should work. So Tomasz has proposed to make this infrastructure project thing, but I'm not sure that a discussion thread is really well suited for that, because then you discuss about one project and then you discuss with another project, but it's all in the same place. So maybe different discussion threads would be more useful, and they could be gathered either as a pinned topic, a pinned post in there or in the infrastructure project, or a wiki page, because the wiki still exists, and so you could do that. And there could be a small presentation of the different projects in there, so that could work. That's it. So I think those projects could be very interesting and could bring a lot of, that could really help us and make some part of our infrastructure way cooler. Especially the revamping of some things. I was surprised to see how many people are still flashing the badges, QR codes at events. It's still there, and it's still alive, and people still want this. So no matter the current state of the different projects composing the badges system, we should probably really invest some time into it. All right, so that's about, I'm almost an hour in. Whoa. Okay. We can have a look at the Noggin work that I did with you 2 weeks ago and finish that. Or we could look at something else. In theory, what I do is take a poll, make a poll. Let me start that. It's all empty. I have to redo everything. Okay. All right. So, what did we have? Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of time for new things. So I think I'm gonna finish the Noggin thing that I did before. I'm gonna have to remind myself what I did 2 weeks ago. So if you weren't there, that's going to be the time to get your refresher. All right. So let me open the Noggin workspace. So the plan was to have Noggin use DNS. Okay. So what were the changes? Use DNS to get the IPS servers instead of having them in the configuration. All right. So what are the changes at the moment? Okay, so there's here that's a test change. Okay. This is instead of free API server, it's going to be free API domain. All right, I'm going to change the example file as well because I saw it and it wasn't updated. So of course that's not Ansible domain here. That's going to be ipa.noggin.test or noggin.test, I should say. Okay. So is this only change in the configuration file? Yeah, apparently it is. Okay. That's small, right? It's probably too small for you to read. Thanks. See you later, Neil. I hope you'll be back next time. It was always nice talking to you. Have fun. So, defaults. Yeah, free IP domain. Okay, I'm just getting the FQDN. Okay, that's fine. Authentication. I am bringing in a new exception that I have defined here and catching it. Right, catching the error in case something bad happens. That's good. I think IP is where most of the meat is going to be. Yeah, I do with the SRV lookup here. I'm importing it. Exception is here. I really don't need that. It's fine. And instead of getting the available server from the configuration, then I'm doing an SRV lookup on LDAP with the domain that is configured, getting that as the available servers. If the query fails, then my list is going to be an empty list. And if my list is an empty list, right, I mean, server is the server that was used before. So what do we do in Noggin is that we query the IPA API, and that's an HTTP API. When we do that, it gets us a session token. So we want to use that to reuse that so we don't have to do the authentication step again. So we are storing that token inside the client's cookies, encrypted. So it's stored in the client cookies. And we also store on which server we were querying, because there are 3 servers at the moment. And the session cookie only works on the server where it was issued. Okay, so we are storing the session cookie and the name of the IPS server that we were using before. That's what we're getting here, getting from the session the name of the IPS server. And then we're checking that it's actually in the APA servers that we have. And if it's not, then we're getting the first one from available servers. That's a list. That could be sorted. Well, it's returned by DNS, so it can be round robin or sorted, so it's all good. So we're getting the first one. And if there isn't a first one, then there's no servers, and then we're raising the no IPA server. That sounds good. So here we're having some tests to mock SRV lookup. That's good. There we are importing SRV to, okay, that's just a tool to create the SRV record for mocking. It looks good. Let's run the test and see where that fails. I think it might have failed. Oh, there's test APA here. That's apparently failing. Sorry. Oh, it has merge. Okay, it has merge errors. Okay, that's fine. Let's merge that. So that was our stash test to server, and we turned that into. Yes, Farcon. Yes, Pong. How are you? So we had that in our IRC reference. It's actually a table tennis reference. It's all good. Yeah, so we had that before. To server, that was just, getting that from a list. Well, random choice was getting us one after the other, like one of these lists after the other. You don't remember? MIRC used to have these in the terminals when you connected to a server. Maybe I'm just told. I don't think I've ever used MIRC. I think I started using IRC when I contributed to Fedora, and so that wasn't MIRC. What was I using at that time? Probably HexChat or whatever equivalent there was. But I think you still see this if you look at the headers of the return or the server messages. It might still be there. Yeah, so it's returning this, and now I've changed that into mocking the SRV lookup to give me the same result. And the changes from upstream was that it was patching this that I no longer need. Security, it was patching random, patching side effect. I think that's fine. I think we can ignore that. So yeah, I'm not sure which one I should click here, really. Current change, that's this. Wrong. Accept incoming change, maybe this? I think that's the one. Yeah, that's incoming change. It's right in here. Okay, easy. Yeah, I think we can keep that, okay? And I'm gonna add that so it's in the stash. Okay, let's run the tests now. Okay, tests are run. What's this? Oh yeah, I built it in. That's fine. I built it in Packet. That's why I have this Noggin _a .gz. What tests do we have? Tox-E, Py310 unit tests. Should upgrade that. Anyway. Installing. I'm gonna make just a quick pause, run to the toilets, and I'll be back soon. Just give me a sec. All right, back at it. So it's running. Some tests fail, obviously. Testing OTP HTTP error. That's in test authentication. Okay. That's the only one? That's definitely not the only one. Yeah, there's an error here as well. It's probably some things that were mocked properly. All good. Error at teardown. Oh, that's an error at teardown. Okay. Request exception. What is this? Okay, let's look at the test registration.py file. So do I have it here already? Nope. Test registration. Okay, and that's, which one is it? Test registering delete error. Okay. Okay, so that's the one. And what happens then? Python 3 IP exceptions bad requests. Something went wrong. Why would it be wrong? HTTP 401, did you see that somewhere? Yeah, bad request is an... yeah, that's... I'm not sure that the Python 3 IPA is actually using that. Bad request is usually 400. 401 is forbidden. Yeah, 401 is forbidden, but it asks you it asks you to give a login password, and 403 is forbidden entirely. Or that's maybe the other way around. Forbidden is like nope. 401 is nope, and 403 is give me a login password or something. Bad requests is usually in the 4,000 range. Yeah, I'm gonna print that. That's in registering user, in registration. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at that. Okay, and that was on 437. Yeah. 437. Okay. That's the stage user del that fails. Could not delete registering user. I'm going to log something as well, right? Except exception as E. Let's just print it. And I'm only going to run this one. I don't want coverage, thank you. Show me what's that. And now it works. Oh no, it doesn't work. Oh, failure is okay. Something went wrong. Fantastic. It might be because of the cassettes. So Noggin is using VCR to register, to replay the HTTP calls to IPA, and sometimes they don't match. Deleting registering user dummy. Something went wrong. That's all you can do. That is really something that is probably mocked in my tests. Sorry, where is my test? It's right here. Let's move it to the rest. Okay, that's the failure here. Okay. Python free IPA exception by week. Okay, that's something that I wanted actually. Okay, so the error might be from the teardown and not from the test itself. It's weird that it says it's pointing at okay, there's two. Teardown of Tetris. Okay, dummy stage user. Ah, that's where it fails. Okay. At test registration, line 72. Okay, let's go there. Okay. Okay, there's a not found, but it fails with something else then, I suppose. Oh yeah. Well, it shouldn't be mocking it anymore. What's this? Should be the real IPA admin at that point. Yes, okay, so I'm betting that I've changed something in the conf test here that breaks everything else. What did I change? I am mocking the SRV. So I'm patching IP SRV lookup. Okay, make it return IP.noggin.test. Okay, that shouldn't have too much influence over the rest. It should influence the rest in theory, or in my understanding at least. So it's failing because I mocked the whole thing. I mocked the stage user del to do this, but I thought that mocking this would only last for the duration of the test. And not, yeah, it should only work for the duration of the test. That's weird. Well, there's something that I'm missing here. I'm making this call, okay. And it is failing because it's probably very simple. Really weird. Why is my mock of the function still on during teardown? That makes no sense. Let me see if I'm going through this. Well, of course it's gonna fail because that's the point. No, that's not a good test. Yeah, that's not a good test. That's not a good test. So this is returning correctly because I get to there, right? Sorry, that's really hackish. I just want to check something. Okay, so I am going through this. So this test is passing. Well, is it? Let's just put it here. We'll see. The test is passing. What is failing is the teardown. Right. Okay. So please show me or maybe the IP admin user is Show me this method. What is it? Is it a mock? Is it still a mock? Huh? Oh. I'm not at the right place. Sorry. Show me this function and let me see if it's a mock or not. It looks correct. What if I call it with I'm pretty sure that this user doesn't exist. I'm trying to understand what's going on here. Right, so I'm running this. What is this? I think it's unrelated to what I did before. I still have to fix it though, but I think it's unrelated. Actually, this is a bit wrong, but that's fine. I don't understand really. I mean, IPA and I am patching this. It shouldn't apply. It must be something silly. It shouldn't apply after the end of the test, no? I mean, mocker is doing this. Or what if I do this? Let's see. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing. Nah. Nope. So can I run it with more data maybe? More V's? How many V's could you put, you know? Oh no. It's erroring out with bad request marking a failure. I'm not really understanding why. Oh, that maybe. Okay. So let me check. Yes. So I have here something that is SRV. Sorry. Let me open that. Okay, that's probably, it's maybe be because of my change. So here I have session SRV lookup mock, which is required here. And it's a session thing, right? And it's calling mock SRV lookup as a session with a session mocker. So that's the session mocker at work, right? And this SRV lookup mock is a local, it's not a session scope, it's a function scope, like the default scope. And it's calling that with, oh, okay. That's why I did this. It's calling this so what uses SRV lookup mock? I wonder if there's some mix-up between the two. Ah, yes, okay. Because it's patching it again, right? What happens if we patch it twice? If we patch the same thing twice, does it return a new one with a different scope, or does it return the previous one? Because if it returns the previous one, then we're going to change the one that has a session scope. That is interesting. Can we mock a mock? Okay, that's tricky. Okay, so that's tricky. My app is a session thing. Why is my app a session thing? I don't know. Why is my app a session thing? Aha, here it's using my application in something that is IPA testing config. Okay, that is why. That's probably why. I should do it. I should maybe use something else. Like I'm not sure that's a good idea to do that. What uses this? Okay, it's only used here and it's not really reused. So okay, that's a bit of duplicated work, but let me check. Let's say I use mock from unit test. I'm going to use a different unit test and see a different mock thing and see if that works. So just to make it clear, I'm going to do this with unit test.mock.patch, whatever this. Okay. As a survey lookup patch. So lookup mock, sorry. Don't value this, that's fine. And then I suppose here it's going to be a yield. Create app. Let's see if that's better. Okay. That's not it. So this isn't a thing anymore, right? Okay. And this isn't used elsewhere, is it? It's not very well. So SRV lookup mock is only used as a local thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand what's going on here. This test passes, okay. And here we have the output after it's been created, dummy stage user. I'm going to try to rebuild the cassette and see if that works. Then, yeah, it might be the reason. So Vagrant app. And that may take a while, unfortunately. Yeah. I'm gonna try to run this to rebuild the cassettes because there might be additional requests that are being made or that aren't made to that aren't made, and then it's picking up the next one in the list of the list of requests in the cassette, and then it's this failure. I'm gonna try that. It might be the reason. Okay. So, poetry run pytest nocov, this, and just the test that we want to test, basically. Does it run? Yes. It's in tests unit. I should fix that. Oh yes. Of course. I have a new dependency now. Cookie. Those are cookies that come from my region of France. It's basically a lot of butter and quite a bit of sugar. It's called Palais Breton. Pretty good. I definitely recommend it. Okay, so here we have an error. Yeah, exactly. Cookies are better than sugar after all. Basically, sugar and fats, put that together, you have something good. Okay, so let me remove now controller, cassettes. Yes, test registration. Okay. Ooh, what's the name of this? Registering. What was the name of this thing? Delete error. Goodbye, the cassettes. Let me try that again now. What do you think? Is this gonna work? Well, yeah, of course. That's because the virtual machine for IPA is not run. Okay, that's gonna be a pain. I no longer have an APA machine to run Noggin on. I think I've removed that. Yes. It's all going to ipa.noggin.test. However, I don't have that anymore. So it is supposed to be pointing at tiny stage. But if I make it point at tiny stage, if I make it point at tiny stage, then I will have to rebuild all the cassettes, which is possible, just a bit of a pain. All right. Let's just bite the bullet and do it. Tiny stage. Vagrant up IPA. Well, what's my status in there? Vagrant up IPA. And here I will have to change conf test. Where is it? Here. I will have to change conf tests so that it picks the right one. Yes, I will have to make it use ipa.tinystage.test. We'll see how that goes. I am not very confident. We'll see. Okay, so tiny stage is turning on, and I will probably have to remove all the cassettes. Yeah, well, I suppose it was going to be necessary at some point anyway. Thank you. That's because I didn't want to have everybody listen to me eating my cookies, and obviously I forgot to turn it back on. Thank you. I was just saying I'm only waiting for IPA to show up, and then I'll be able to remove the cassettes and try the Noggin tests again. But it's surprisingly slow, so let's try again. And while it's starting up, I'm gonna make a small pause again. All this tea has to go somewhere. Ah, it's on. Okay, let's try the Noggin thing. Whoops, what's that? No, that should be the one. Okay, let's try the Noggin thing. So I'm going to remove all the tests. Goodbye tests. And run the Python function again. PyTest function again. If that works, then I'm going to do a better thing. That wasn't it. Oh yeah, I wasn't in the VM. You bet. Okay, so all of them, they've all been removed. Okay, let's run this again. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that should work now. And it fails. Connection error, IP.noggin.test. Yep, definitely not that. Where is it? Oh, what is it still doing there? Is it because I didn't save it, or what's wrong? Oh. Tiny stage.test. Ah, there it is. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I will be able to remove that later. Hopefully my hack works. Okay, what's that now? You do not have tiny stage.tests. That is very possible. Let's see if that helps. Why doesn't it deploy IPA.tinystage.test? Maybe that's because it's a different Vagrant file. Yeah, that's only updating the host file that are found on TinyStage himself. Okay. So I'm not sure how that will work. I don't know if there's a network. Oh wait, what if I do IPA. Well, all right, I do have this, okay? IP.tinystage.test. Let's see if I can ping it from here. I can ping it from here. It's just a matter of having it in etc host then. Oh yeah, that's gonna fail. It did tell me, but I didn't listen. It's getting kind of dark. Let me turn on some lights. Woohoo! Okay, let's try to run the test again. Failure. Self-signed certificate in certificate chain. Of course you would be. So where should I add that already? I think you can do a Python. If I could say I got a hold of the Fedora design name, I got a copy of the Fedora logo in STL form, trying to see if I can 3D print it in 2 colors right now. That'll be cool. I haven't ever played with 3D printing, but that would be cool. Poetry run Python-M certify. I think that's the thing. Yes. Okay, so I think I can get tinystage.test / ca.crt maybe? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, -k. Okay, IPA. No. Where is the certificate already? I think it's published somewhere in APA, but I don't remember where. Yeah, I don't remember. That's fine. I'll just put it available somewhere. Should probably automate that at some point. Okay, so it's loading the UI, but where is this coming from? API rewrite, I suppose. Right. What's the home directory? I don't remember that. Not server root, there's the val 3w HTML. Okay, that's empty. Perfect. Copy etc IPA ca.crt to val 3w HTML. Please. Thank you. All right, it's readable. And now let's read. Ah, there it is. So I'm gonna put that into etc ips IPA. Do I have? It's not unlisted. Okay. I'm just gonna copy and paste that into. Where's the certify thing? That's where it is. So I'm gonna add that to this file. Okay, and now let's see if the requests work. Bit long, but failing. Certificate verified failure. I don't remember where I should put all that actually. I thought it was certified, but maybe not. Let me check. I know I do that in Ansible, so I can have a look at that. Okay, so devel Ansible roles Noggin IPA client. That's just Noggin. Common maybe. IPA client is probably this. No. So it's running IPA client. What does it mean? What is the address of the IPA server? That's the thing. IPA.ansible domain. Okay, that's not the one that I want, actually. It's not the one that I want. Okay. Okay. I think, yep. I think we could decide that IPA here role and vars. I think it's vars, but I'm not sure. Was it directly the variables are there already? So in IPA client, I suppose that I have some. This IPA client is kind of old actually. Let me look at the one we use in Tiny Stage. Ansible roles IPA client. Pretty hard coded, if you tell me. If you ask me. What's this? Definitely not what I want. That's fine. All right, and now here, I'm gonna have to say IPA server. I think that's clearer what's going on. What happened? Did you just crash on me? I think VS Code just crashed on me. Not nice. That is not nice, VS Code. Yes, this is not what I want. What about the other one? There's one unsaved. Let me just save that before I forget. Oh, that's all good. Okay, let me open Noggin again. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, so now, oh yeah, I wanted to set that to IPA. It did crash on me. Anyway, apparently that was too complicated for it. There might be an issue with the RAM on my machine because I'm running many VMs at the moment, so that can happen. So that's definitely not IPA.ansible domain. It's going to be IPA server. Okay. What about vars? There's, oh, right, so I can put that here. IPA server, IPA tiny stage that tests. So I don't have to put that in the template right here. Okay, we're good. Okay, so now I'm going to enroll this VM with the new IPA. First, I'm going to de-enroll it. And install. Goodbye. Yeah, you bet. Do you want to reboot the machine? Absolutely not. Okay. Now I am going to run provisioning again so that it creates, it registers the machine with the tiny stage. It should probably register it as Noggin dev, right? Because I think there is already a Noggin machine on tiny stage. That's going to be a problem. Can I do that? Can I go to go to IPA client install and change that Because the domain here is noggin.tests. I'm going to change all that. I'm going to change everything. It's going to be a pain, but we'll do it. Oh, it's already called noggin.dev.tinystage.test. So what's that? So it's already calling Ansible, so I do not need to do that. Huh. It's already Noggin dev. It's already on TinyStage. Well, now I've uninstalled it, but it should have worked. Huh. Yeah, well, I might as well destroy the machine and start over. Unless it's going to be a clear one. Oh yes, that's because I reinstalled the TinyStage environment. So that failed, of course. Oh yeah, that explains. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't actually need to do that. All good. Let me destroy the machine and start again because I've reinstalled TinyStage, so the CA is different, and that's probably making a mess of everything. Install it. It's 5 now, so I really want this to work, and then I'll be done. I have more cookies to eat, so. Silence. Well, that might take a while. It's installing, downloading packages, installing stuff. I am, however, hooked up to the network with an Ethernet cable that goes directly into a fiber optic channel to my provider, so I think it's not going to disrupt the stream, or definitely shouldn't. But I think the limiting factor here is installing packages on a VM on a laptop that doesn't have a ton of memory. And a hard drive that is actually, an image file on the disk. So that's not perfect. Okay, it's moving forward. We believe in you, VM. You can do it. Sorry. So if you, while I'm waiting for this to finish, if you have any questions, things you want to discuss, please feel free to. And well, as IPA client, that's what we were waiting for. Installing npm packages again. Okay. Yay! Fedora logo is printing. Cool. Send us a picture when you get it. Okay. So that is installed. Let's see if I can SSH into it. Nice. Okay, good. Okay. I'm betting that it's probably... I don't have the history anymore, so... Devel rebuild cassettes, that's going to be the test. And I wanted to only test one of them, which was the failing test, but it's maybe buried far in my history now. Oh, not so far. That was test registering delete error. That's the thing. Okay. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that's going to work this time. Not good. Free API error, bad request, denied. Why am I denied? What happened? Oh, yes. I know why. So there's a patch. Oh, that's going to be a pain. So in the library that we use, Python free IPA, there is a patch that needs to be applied, or I think that they've just published a more recent version. So I could just do that, I suppose. I think they published a recent one. 4 days ago, yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'm gonna update that first. Update Python free IPA. Because like there's a change in the more recent version of IPA that exposed a bug in the Python free IPA library, sent them a patch, it was merged, and now they released a new version. I don't know why they make a counter of seconds. I mean, why would I want to count the seconds? I want to have a counter of the number of things that are currently running and how close I am to the end. But counting seconds, I mean, why? What's the point? Anyway, let's start the test again. I probably have to remove the... Yeah, I have to remove the cassettes, otherwise it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna remove the cassettes. And do it again. Please work. Oh, ouch. Oh, yeah, of course. User with name stageadmin already exists. Where does it fail? What's the error here? Stageadmin. Oh yeah, I need to clean up IPA before I do that. Okay, that's right. What is stageadmin? Do I remember that? I don't even think I remember that. In test registration. Right, I bet it's failed. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me clean up IPA first. I should do that here, actually. No. I should clean that up. Okay. Okay. There's a ton of users that are generated by the provisioning script. So stageadmin. That's the one. Okay. Okay, run again. What happens now? Please work. Failure. Sad. Assertion error, none equals spam checker waiting. That's pretty good, actually. I should remove this dummy stream test thing here, even though it's failing in the same way that it was failing before, which is not a good sign. That is definitely not a good sign. Okay, that shouldn't be, because spam check awaiting, I think that's only applied if there's a configuration, if the spam check thingy is set. Blah, 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 blah. Where is spam check awaiting? Where is that set? This may have been removed a while ago. Why do I have... Let me clean up that thing again. Oh. Okay. Ah. There you go. Now again, I'm gonna make a list of all the things. Error. It's still failing. I don't understand. Okay, let me try that again. Yeah, of course it's pretty bad. I'm stashing that. Oh. I'm not an... Oh. That's bad. What was the fix I was trying to fix already? Because I was not on the right branch. That's not good. 1357. Fix 1357. Oh. Oh, that was my work in progress. Awesome. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, crap. There's a ton of conflicts. Made a mistake here. I was not in the right branch. I unstashed something that looked good but wasn't actually. All right, let me merge these errors. Alabaster, yeah, let's keep the incoming change, of course. Okay, that's fine, that's all good. Any other crappy thing? No? All good. Go to jail, do not pass government collection. Yeah, exactly. Try it again. That's not great. Nope, I don't want to merge with merge conflicts. I don't want to stage it with merge conflicts. I want to see the merge conflicts. Thank you very much. Oh, there's one here. Yes. Bypassing, I might... I'll just keep the... whatever. Sure, incoming change, that's fine. Anything else? No? No, I don't want to merge it with merge conflict. I don't know if there are any merge conflicts. I don't see them. Do I have something that tell me go to the next merge conflict, please? Oh, accept all incoming. Done. Cancel. Yeah. I'll let you refresh your cache. Okay, what do I want here? I want tiny stage. Thank you. I want the incoming change. What about here? Yeah, in theory, I shouldn't need that. I'm gonna keep it on though. And here, I definitely want tiny stage, that's for sure. And here, I'm gonna keep my thing. Because I want to test that. But I also want to test if it was the cassettes all along or not. It's called SV lookup session SV lookup map. Okay. Right, and that gets commented. Okay. Do I have something else? It looks like this is all. Okay. So yeah, unit test, I know. You are unhappy. It's good. Sure, I'll rebuild the lock anyway. That's all good. Oh yeah, there's definitely a merge conflict here. Go to this file. Nah, it's all good. Okay. Let's have a look at this now. And run it again. Non-type has not with test request context. Okay, that's something I did, I suppose. App is none. Oh, yeah. Yes. My bad. Oh, yes, I didn't save that. Anyway, yeah, that might have been why it wasn't happy. Okay, that's all good. Where's my conf test? It's here. Okay. My app is not returning. Yes. That's why. Okay, let me try again now. Fingers crossed. And it's tried it. It's an error. Oh yes, okay, I understand that one. Where does this take us? Oh! A green dot? Okay, whatever. Bad request, mock. Okay, that's still a failure. Okay, we are having the same failure as before now. So it wasn't the cassettes. Let me stash this thing and try again. It is fading as well. Remove the cassettes, try again. Is this going to fail? Because that might not be my change. I mean, looks like it's not my change. Yeah, okay, that fails, of course. Okay, so let's say it's not my changes. No, not stash, but restore. Well, that won't work because it's the new... Anyway. So that's not my... I'm pretty sure that it's not my change that is causing this. So what is going on? Probably, maybe one of my dependencies is failing, is making this fail. Like one of the mocker thing, maybe. Let's go back to the main branch. Let's touch this. Let's go back to dev. Yeah. Check out dev. Okay, git pull. Oh yes, you can do that from here. That is fine. Okay. Now, let me run poetry. See if that works. I am almost sure that it's gonna fail. And it passed. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's not a big problem. It passed. So it's definitely one of my changes. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Try again. Okay. I don't understand what's going on here. Let's say I am not doing any mock SRV lookups. Like, nope. And just pass. And just pass. And pass as well. What happens if you do that? Wait. 3112, what's going on? No, that's probably something wrong while synchronizing file to the VM. Yes. No IPS server. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because, yeah, okay. Okay. It's failing on the IPA testing config. Right. I'm going to try to do this with I'm going to try to mug from here. Okay. Let's try this. Still no IPS server. That's because it's supposed to be a noggin.test. Otherwise, it won't be recognized. I should wait for it to be transferred to the virtual machine. Function object has no attribute lookup. Okay. Oh, but that's because it's great. Well done. And now it's failing with something went wrong. Could it be reusing the mock? Because in my test here, it is mocking something, right? My test here, it's mocking Noggin security IPA client stage user del. Am I calling this? Maybe let me try with something else then. Import unit test. I know. With unit test point dot mock dot patch this as method. Do this. What now? It still fails. Is there method dot side effect? What if I don't do this? just fails with the assertion error. Right, but what if I do not control that? Invalid syntax. Yeah, there's something wrong here, but that's all good. That's all good. I wonder why it's failing, really. That's passes, of course. So that's if I do not mock the stage user there. Oh. Right. Because I'm mocking the entire client class, right? And there's another class that depends on it, and I'm calling here with IP admin, and that's a subclass. That's an instance. Could I mock the instance instead? Because, right, I want to mock stage user del, right? That's in registration. Where's registration? It's not there anymore. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's a pretty sensitive function, you know. So I'm doing this stage user del. Where am I doing this? Stage user del. I'm doing it here. Okay, so this I would like to mock the instance instead. I think that might be one of my dependencies in some way. I'm not sure. How can I mock this instance? So this is the with returned by the with IPA function that comes from here. That is calling maybe IPA session. Okay, so I might want to mock maybe IPA session instead. Do I mock this somewhere? Am I mocking this already? I feel like I might be doing that. What's my diff? Oh, no, that's fine. What did I change? Currently not much, but what did I change in the test? Head tests. Make SRV. I don't really get what's going on. I'm not really sure what's going on really. But if I want to get a hold of the client class, oh, it's calling maybe IPA session. Okay, yeah. instantiating the client right here, doing stuff. Okay, restoring the session, the cookies. Okay. Instead of mocking this, so that doesn't make any difference. Okay, so I can drop that. Instead of patching the entire thing, maybe when I have mock session activated, it starts to mess things up. That's possible. That's entirely possible. All right, let's do something different then. Do I have here something that mocks? Where is it? Where is my IPA file? That's a pain. IPA right here. Okay, I want to mock maybe IPA session, or do I want to mock? No, what I want to mock is with IPA. That's the with IPA that I want to mock. Right? Yeah, because I wanted to return the IPA instance that I want. And that is fine. Do I have an IPA client somewhere? Am I instantiating the client somewhere in my tests? Might be. Do I have a fixture for the IPA client already? IPA cert, no client, that's the test client. Okay, no IPA testing, nope. Make user, dummy user, okay, make group, okay. This returns the IPA. Okay, so I might want to get the maybe IPA. I get this maybe IPA login. I could have something similar. Oh, I may have that already. Okay. In my test registration, logged in stage users at dummy stage user. Dummy stage user. What is returned by dummy stage user? Where is it first? It's here. Okay. And it returns the user itself. Okay, that makes sense. But what is returned by logged in stage users admin? That's a bit more complex. And it returns the IPA client. That's good. That's good. It returns the IPA client. So I can use that. Okay. Okay, so I can do something like this. IPA equal logged in staged stage user admin. Okay, now I want to have mocker.patch Noggin.controllers. Where's my functions? Right here. Noggin.controller. Oh, it was L or 1L? 2L or 1L? Control 2L. Dot register, or is it registration? It's registration, of course. Dot with IPA. Return value equal IPA. Right, and now I am patching this IPA instance. I suppose it's a patch.object then. And patching stage user del. Right? What is this gonna work? I don't know, but we can try. Failure. Noggin controllers not registration. That's because I can type. Try it again. Noggin controllers register. That's because it didn't sync yet. Can't overwrite existing cassette. Fine. Can I remove those? I suppose so. Goodbye, cassettes. Do it. Yeah, yada yada yada. Again, the test, blah 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 blah, and I'm back to square one. Well, not entirely back, but I have to fix it here. Tiny stage. Dot test. It's longer because it talks to IPA. Ah, okay. Duplicate entry, fine. I am used to that. Do it. Fails, that's good. I can... Oh, you can just smell the frustration. Dummy stage user not found. Dummy stage user not found. Where was that? Oh yeah, of course. It's not been created because... Well, let me just restore the rest of the test because I might be looking at something that is outdated anyway. Here I have this marker, blah, blah, blah. Okay, stage is the okay. Assert generic error. Oh yeah. Okay, so that means my mock didn't go through because my mock didn't go through because it actually deleted the user. That's the delete is supposed to be failing. So what do I have in here? What is IPA in here? Is it my mock or is it the original function? A good question, isn't it? Let's try this. I have the original one, right? That is not what I had in mind. So I suppose that mocking a decorator doesn't work so well, which makes sense because as long as it's imported, then I can't replace the mock. So that might make sense. It might make sense. I need to mock. What I need to mock is the maybe IPA session right here. So I need to mock it in Noggin utility controllers. Fine, I can do that. Maybe IPA session. Okay. Noggin utility controller. maybe IPA session. Yeah, it makes sense that mocking a decorator won't work. I mean, it's already applied to the function when the module is imported, so it's a bit too late. Maybe IPA session. Let's try that. Invalid syntax? What? Did I make a mistake? Nah, probably just the thing not being synchronized already, or... Wait, what's the problem? Invalid syntax. It's not invalid at all. Okay, try again. That's not the path. Okay, what is it? Controllers, I suppose? Yes, obviously. That's very coherent. Naming scheme. Well done. Key error result. Ah, that's good. Am I getting anything printed here? So what's going on? Userdel. What is going on? Failure, response, blah, blah, blah. Okay, g.user find. What is this? Where is the key error going on? Okay, that's because it is wrapping. Okay, so IPA is something. And I suppose if you do I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, which is most of the time. Okay, so I print IPA. Let me see, is it my real IPA or is it not? And if it is not, then please show me g.ipa.user find who am I equal true. Well, it's who I am now. Who am I? I suppose who am I works as well. Show me the result of that. Did I save everything? Yes, I did. So of course, same error. That's my real IP object. That's wrong. That's not the right line. It can be. Wait, what? Ah, IPA, that's my, okay. And I have a, what is this? Oh yeah, okay. That's the second thing, that's the results. And that's really not what I want. Is it because I removed the cassette? Oh, I'm surprised. Because what I'm printing here is first the client, which seems to be the official one. Oh wait, let me test IPA.stage user del. Did it change that function or not? And the user find gives me nothing. I suppose that may make sense, and I need to remove the cassette and try again. Yeah, I'm gonna remove the cassettes and try again. But that's still interesting information to have. Find, remove all the blah 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 things. Okay, it was ready. Now do it again. What is the fail list? Ah, ha, ha. That is much better. That is much better. So my mock, okay, so my function is the stage user mock that I have. That's good. That's exactly what I want. Okay, why is it not setting spam checker waiting though? I have no idea. And I think that's kind of an old feature that we've never really implemented properly. That's the statuses, but I thought that it might have been removed or parameterized. Okay, spam checker waiting. Okay. Do I get a fast status node that is set somewhere? Well, it's not relevant to my issue here, so I'm going to remove that. But I think not none. Well, it can't be really, because that would fail. Yeah, that's not really relevant. Okay, good. So that apparently that works. And I can now remove all the debug stuff that I've put all over the place. Okay. What did I put all over the place? One more here, registering user. Yes, I don't need this print, so thank you very much. What else did I change? Yeah, of course, that's the thing being deleted, but that doesn't count. Oh, wait, wait. That might be a lot of them. Yes, there's all of them. Okay, so, okay. There's this one that has changed, and that is all. Untest registration. This and test registration. Okay, so what did I change in there? Right. I think I can go back to what I had before. I think my problems come from session mocker, but I'm going to try it. See how that goes. Ah, okay, so I think that was right. Let me undo all the crap that I've put everywhere. Here, for example, that is actually entirely correct. This is correct as well. I don't actually need to do this stupid thing. Right. So my problem was that I am patching the entire class and that fails miserably. Yeah, okay, that's gonna work. Okay, and that failed miserably because it patches the entire, it patches the admin client as well. That's not good. So if I go there, I can try. I'll look at where I'm patching this thing. Yeah, this is always wrong. Wherever I'm patching this, I'm wrong. Right, so it's failing here. Well, that's not too bad, because I'm not going to call login on setup or teardown. Well, I might. Well, not in this. Well, I might, I suppose. I might. Okay, I'm gonna fix all of that, and it should work. So there's another problem here where I'm going to have the same problem. Do I want to make a fixture for all of that? Stage user like, for example, fix a function. Like I'm going to make a fixture function. Okay, that's going to be fun. First, I'm going to go to the toilet again. Because then I'll be much more relaxed and not frustrated anymore. So. Okay, that's a bit of things to fix, but we'll get there. So I'm going to make a fixture to patch, and that's going to be useful for everyone, right? Right, I'm going to make a generic fixture. It's going to be more useful. Here's my conf test. IPA third. Let me do that. User. Because here I have an example of make fixture. So I'm going to make a fixture function. A fixture function that's a fixture that doesn't return something that you use directly, but it returns a function that has its own setup and teardown. For example, if I look at that here, I'm going to reuse that. So I'm going to call it patch IPA client. It's going to be using the IPA client and the method name, right? And I'm going to patch it. And that's where all the fun is going to happen. So that's actually not true. That's going to be the arguments of the function that I receive. And I want in there, I want Mocker. That's the only thing that I want. Okay. I want to do a mocker.patch of this function, always the same. Return value is going to be the IPA client, right? I'm always returning the API client that I passed. And I am mocking my IPA client. And I'm mocking its function called method name. And I am returning that so that I can do more usage of a mock function is a bit overkill here because I don't have any teardown. But it's fine. Okay, so how do I use that? I want patch IPA client now for my test registration function, right at the bottom. Thank you. I want here to have patch IPA client, right? And I'm going to do a patch IPA client with my IPA client here. I'm going to specify it with keywords so I don't know that it's an IPA client here that I'm talking about. Method name equal stage user del, and I'm getting that with my method. I'm getting my method from here. Okay, that should work. And then I just have to set the side effect on my method and I'll be done. Good. Is this gonna work? That's a good question. Let's try it. It is not working. Oh yes, okay. Yeah, of course. Doesn't want to override the cassette. It is failing with IP.Noggin.test max. What? IP.Noggin.test? Not at all. Oh, do I still have that on? It's not IP.Noggin.test. Thank you. It's definitely not IP.Noggin.test. What are you doing? Run. Please be green. Thank you. Please stop here. No E, no red E. Yes. So it works. Okay. So I'm going to be able to reuse that. Oh, I don't need Mocker anymore. That's cool. I'm going to be able to use that on all the places where I have patched the main class. So, well, maybe that makes sense because I'm testing IP itself here, so that may make sense. But in here, nope. Mock.patch, that's not Mocker? I'm not using Mocker here? Okay, maybe I'm not using Mocker, that's fine. What about this one? Yep. Yep. Okay, here we have patch IPA client and we are patching user mod and my IPA client is logged in blah, 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 blah. Dummy user. And that's user mod that I'm generating here. So this should work. I'm going to test that right away. Please be green. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, that's a really good sign. So here, basically the same stuff. Oh, it's mock.patch. Yeah, it's mock.patch. Let's say that I'm not going to work on mock.patch first. Oh, there's one here. Stage user mod are logged in stages, logged in stage, blah, blah, blah. And that's stage user mod that I'm changing. And I want patch IPA client. Okay. In theory, that should be enough. And I don't have Mocker here anymore. That's fine. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna move on to the next one and then test all the functions again. That's the only obvious one that is using Mocker. I still think I should do all of them. Here, I do not have an IPA client that I could use, so nope. What about here? No, not obvious at least. This one, no. Logged in dummy user, I could use this one. Yeah, let me do that. I could do it here. It's called method, and I'm patching OTP user, no, OTP token add. What the fuck am I doing? Definitely not that. It's patch IPA client. I'm trying to lose my focus here. Okay. Logged in dummy user and OTP token add. That's good. And I need patch IPA client. And as a result, I can indent all that. Yay. Okay. That work? No. Was? No. First agreement, add user. Sorry. Okay, what else? I could do that here as well, except it's called user mod. Yes. Is it well logged in dummy user? Yes, that's good. I am patching it, and I can unindent all that as well. Okay. Okay, let's say that I want to do this. I hope I'm not doing this for nothing. User mode, same stuff. Cool. Yeah. Should probably do the same. Okay, so that's this one. Oh, nothing really compromising in there. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Thing is, OTP token mod. Oh, it's called method in here. Logged in dummy user with OTP. Okay, bit annoying, but we'll get there, we'll get there. Okay, what else do I have? Pretty much the same thing. Token mode, called method, okay. This one is logged in dummy user, there isn't with OTP. Nice. Only 4 left. Okay, OTP token there, method, that's all good. Then, basically the same stuff, except nothing. That's basically the same stuff. Okay. Okay. Okay, OTP token mod. Okay. And last one in this module. And that's good. So we have something in group. Do I have something that I could use? Yes, I think so. I think dummy user as a group manager. Let me check that dummy user as a group manager is an actual IPA client. Is that in my conf test? That's possible. I'm yielding nothing. That's because it's IPA admin. Right. I could yield logged in dummy user maybe. Then I'll get the IPA because logged in dummy user is the IPA client. That would be better. Cool, improvements. Save it and go back to here. So I have, it's called method, and it's called group add member. Dummy user as blah blah blah. So my thing, oh, memguga, okay, it's gonna fail so much. Patch IPA clients, all right, there you go. Save it. And now, I already done that. Oh, I forgot to remove that. And unindent. Perfect. Even less work. And in there, group remove member. Patch IPA client. Okay, I think we're ready for some tests. Or maybe one more, just for fun. Oh, hey, I can't do that because I don't have a client that I could use right here. So let's not do it. Okay. I think we're decent. So now I'm going to run all the tests. Remove all the cassettes, run all the tests again. For that, I'm going to run this. Run all the tests. Fingers crossed. I hope everything goes well this time. And since it's pretty late, I think I'm going to stop after that. Ooh, error. That doesn't sound good. That's bad. Yeah, keyboard interrupt, of course. Okay. Duplicate entry. Ha 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 ha. That's not good. Okay. Let me remove the duplicate entries, okay? Delete user dummy. Okay. Or maybe .x as well. Because then it's going to stop after the first failure. I don't really want to... Yeah, I want to just know when it fails because I don't want to wait till the end for something that I could fix right now. And it fails. Okay. Errors, water down function. I saw that before. What is this? Maybe IPA admin session. Client.login. Wrap in DNS discovery. Okay. That's where it fails, right? Session posts. Request exception. I have request exceptions. And where does it fail? Where does it fail? Client.login. IP.logout. It's not clear what's going on. Exception group. It's not clear, at least not to me. So I'm calling userdel in conf test, that's normal. There it's calling client.login. Why? Why is this raising request exception? What's the second one? Also in posts. I'm gonna check this file. What was the line? .211, right? Okay, and that causes a request exception? That's weird. Why can't I have more information about that? Really? I don't know. I'm tired. I think I'm gonna stop there and try and fix that next time. Yep, that's a more complex beast than I thought. All right, I think I'm gonna stop there and I'll see you next time. I'll try and fix that before next time because it's become more complex and I'm really not really finding an easy way, and it's not really demonstrative of what things can be, how things could be done. So not really interesting for you. I am going to try and find the solution, and maybe next time we'll be able to do something else. We'll see. See you next week. As always, have a good time. Take care.